Hello there, and welcome to this late afternoon taste challenge. All right, that's it. You're out. You got your chance. Come on. Come on. Out. You're out. Sorry about that. She keeps going straight for the wires. So I'm going to condition her. You touch wires, you're out every time. Conditioning. All right. Anyway, sorry. I have two Kentucky bourbon whiskeys. This is Winn-Dixie or WD Liquors bourbon whiskey. Introduced in I don't know. I know the company was founded in 1955 when two grocery chains combined, Winn and Dixie stores. They claim they go back to 1925 because one of those stores does go back to 25, but to me, Winn-Dixie is when they merged, but depends how you look at it. Herbie says, sir, hello to you. All right, so this is their private label. Although I was looking up their private labels just now on their local website and nothing's coming up. So I know they're apparently planning to close this local store. So maybe they pulled all their brands off the shelf. I don't know why this got these spots here, something splashed on it, because I don't remember that before. I don't know what kind of chemical could have gotten on it. Showing a horse and a jockey in the Kentucky countryside. I don't know why it's not called straight bourbon, though, because it's at least 3 years old. It says age statement 3 years. Produced by Wide World Importers, okay, of Kentucky. Oh, I'm sorry, bottled in Kentucky. This was like $14.99 for this handle, true story. Just can't figure out why they're not calling it straight bourbon. But maybe they don't even know why. Now, could this go back to 1955? Your cat does the same thing with your wires, huh? Yeah, so I had to put her out. She won't. I gave her 3 chances. She went after the wires, put her out. She cried to come back in, then a repeated 3rd time, out. So this one is kind of pale amber. $80 proof, a light bourbon, lighter type bourbon. On their website, if they're out of stock, they won't post it. It won't show up on the website. Yep, goodbye. But I checked their rum. No, I checked their gin, their vodka, and this bourbon, and nothing showed up. So I thought that was strange. But when I went there last week, they had all their store brands in there. But like I say, if they're going to close the store, they might have picked this week to start closing it out. You see that happen. It's a nice store. Here's Colonel E.H. Taylor. Small batch. Now, this only goes back to 2011, all right? But the Taylor brand actually goes back to 1887. Old Taylor bourbon goes back to 1887. And then Colonel E.H. Taylor sold it to another guy named Stagg, and then something happened and he sold it later, and then some other people sold it, and it kept changing hands. It was called Shenley Distilling, and now it's called Buffalo Trace, owned by the Sazerac Company. Now this one's very dark. Dark copper. Well, just copper, I guess, not dark copper. You would think, and I guess we can guarantee that I'm not going to confuse E.H. Taylor for Winn-Dixie Bourbon Whiskey, private label store brand. They actually come from the same company. This one's Taylor. Winn-Dixie says Wide World Importers. Taylor says Old Fire Copper Distillery, but they're both Frankfort, Kentucky. And I think we know who's got the famous distillery in Frankfort, Kentucky. I'll do a screen share. Here it is, E.H. Taylor Jr. small batch. Handcrafted in small batches. Makes sense. Aged in the century-old warehouses built by Colonel E.H. Taylor Jr. This bourbon reflects his unwavering pursuit of perfection. Each barrel is carefully selected and blended to create a whiskey of excellence, depth, and character. A true sipping bourbon. It honors the uncompromising of E.H. Taylor. Now, you won't be finding this for $15 like the Winn-Dixie. It's the low rye mash bill, 100 proof straight bourbon. It's got 93 awards. They say it's in between a novice and advanced. I understand that. I don't know why you got to be advanced to taste a bourbon. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you could just start drinking bourbon tomorrow and taste whatever you want. You don't have to like be initiated into it. It's not a society. Now here's all the other. There's a lot of other variants. There's the straight rye, barrel proof rye, single barrel, old fashioned sour mash, cured oak, 4-grain, 18-year marriage, Amaranth, Warehouse C bourbon, Warehouse C Tornado surviving bourbon, and Colonel E.H. Taylor Distillers. And you can pay a lot of money for this. Which is fine with me, assuming you want to pay it. Hello, Jean-Pierre. Let's turn on the lamps. If I let you in, you're not going to behave. All you're going to do is make trouble. You'll see. Hey, everyone. Hello, Jean-Pierre. I guess Winn-Dixie would be ideal based on price, but the other one's probably a lot better. Oh, yeah. This one was a gift for Christmas gift, great gift. Thank you, David. And this one I bought at Winn-Dixie. Okay. I'm going to have to close my eyes because if I look and see the darker copper, I'm going to know what it is. A lot of oak. Maybe not so much. Taste time. You figure 100 proof versus 80, you'd know the difference. 40% alcohol versus 50%. This is Taylor. It's got a lot more oak, charred oak, vanilla. It just tastes like whiskey that was saturated in oak. Now, I think bottled and bond has to be aged at least 4 years, right? It doesn't have to have an age statement, but it got to be at least 4 years. Has to come from a bonded warehouse. and can be made in 2 seasons, spring or fall. Now, let's taste this one. And that rule was put in place with the Bottle and Bond Act of 1897. All right, this is Winn-Dixie. It's kind of mild. It's very mild. If you want to say bland, okay, bland, whatever. It's just, it tastes bland compared to the Taylor. It's not really that bland. It's just in a comparative sense because they're so different in strength. I don't know about aging now. This one's 3 years. This one might only be 4. There's no official age statement. Now, some people might say, oh, I heard that it's 8 years. You got any proof of that? If they don't have any proof, then they got no sources. If they say, oh, I got a friend in the industry, that's not a source. If you tell me I've got a friend in the industry, that is not a source. I don't know who this friend is. I don't know what you're talking about. John Mallory says, beer mug. Cheers, Jay Fella, says John. Cheers to you. Now, I don't know what the price of Taylor is. Probably about $60 a bottle, but I'm not sure. I don't know. I heard 40. I heard somebody say 40. I don't know about 40. That sounds a little low these days. I don't believe it, but it's got a medium body, like high medium. It's not heavy, but it's 100 proof, so it's got a little weight to it. It's just very oak. Like whiskey saturated in oak. That makes sense. Do they use a heavy chart? Seems like they probably do. It's a low rye mash bill, so you're not getting a lot of rye spice. Maybe a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. Get some bread from the malted barley. It's smooth. It's easy going. It's nice. It's exceptional. I give it an A. Go with about a 97 out of 100. Top-notch product. If you find it, buy it. If you want to. Joe Cobb says, evening, Ron. Evening to you, Joe, up there in Canada. Now, the Winn-Dixie, which clearly cannot really really compete. Just checking the tags to be technically correct, but I knew what it was as soon as I smelled it. But definitely when I tasted it. Is the Winn-Dixie bourbon totally junk, not worth buying? It's not totally junk. It's not even junk. It's just kind of dull. But it's fine. I think most people buy it for mixing, making old fashions and things like that, or just maybe mixing it with Pepsi Cola or RC Cola, truthfully. But $14.99 or $15.99 a handle. I guess if you, and a lot of people are these days, if you need to save money and you need to watch your budget, and that's a good idea to do that, this would be a good thing for, sorry, my nose is bothering me. Don't worry, I'm going to wash the towel in hot water with soap. I always wash the sheets and everything like that in hot water. How's the kitty? Well, she's being bad. If she goes by the wires, I'm going to have to put her out. If she's going by the wires again, she don't understand. I told you, if you go by the wires, I'm putting you out. Too late. Well, I was going to let you stay in the room. She wants to be in the room, but she won't stay away from the electric wires. I already had to repair one of the wires. She bit it in half, the ring lamp over here. Somebody said, didn't she get shocked? I said, maybe. She didn't seem to care. Yeah, she's gotten so big. Remember when she was this little? I think she was still drinking milk when I got her, but I couldn't give her milk. I mean, I could have, but I gave her soft food, out the can, and she liked that, but she seemed to prefer the crunchy food. So I started transitioning, when she got a little older, about 3 weeks later, to the crunchy food, and she really likes that. She doesn't ever seem to get tired of it. Yeah, cats and electronics don't mix. Yeah, tell me about it. Scotch Rock Red says, "Hi, Ronald. Just stopping by to say hello and enjoying a few Bit Burgers." Oh, I saw some Bit Burgers coming fresh to a store today. 330 milliliter bottles. It's expensive these days. I remember Bitburger used to be kind of low, but now it's sky high. I wouldn't buy it. So, of course, E.H. Taylor, Colonel E.H. Taylor is the clear and present winner. But if you live in Texas, I've never seen it in Louisiana. I've just never seen it. You can cry outside the door all you want, but you're not coming in. You blew it. So I'll show you a picture of Old Taylor. Still on the market, actually. Now, do they make a 100 proof version of Old Taylor or an 86 proof or a 90 proof? Knowing the parent company, Buffalo Trace, I wouldn't be shocked. I would not be shocked because they do a lot of strange things. But here's the Old Taylor, still in production, definitely still in production. Joe. Let's see, wait, I'm losing track. That small batch looks nice. The $100 for that in Ontario sold out because we aren't stocking bourbon anymore. Oh yeah, well, everybody's over that. Canada should be over that. Well, actually, America never got into it. Like, people over here were never really. I think most Americans never knew about the story. They don't follow that kind of stuff. But I know in Canada it was like a big deal. But Americans still drink Canadian whiskey all day long. So I think there was just like no awareness of it. Generally, no awareness. Maybe from a small number of people. If you asked the common man on the street, what do you think about the Canadian boycott of bourbon? They would say, I don't know what you're talking about. The small batch looks in Ontario, which is madness. Other provinces aren't doing this. If you like German beer, Hofbräu is a great one. Yes, Canadian government is very stubborn. Our NES seems to care more about what Trump is doing than fixing our domestic problems. Yeah, it would be bad if they're fixated on him. Forget Trump. Worry about your own dominion. Okay, now I'll show you Old Taylor's. This is from Virginia's government-owned liquor store. Yes, some American states have government-owned liquor stores. Old Taylor, 6-year age. Oh no, they're very slick, aren't they? It's called Old Taylor 6. It probably used to be called Old Taylor 6-year age. Now they call it number 6. Is it age 6 years? Probably not. It's very deceptive. Taylor Kentucky Straight Bourbon whiskey, topmost class. Yeah. Same E.H. Taylor. Under United States government supervision. Well, yeah, every liquor is under U.S. government supervision, so that's a meaningless statement. %40 alcohol. I don't know what the age statement says. Could there be 86 proof and 100 proof? There could be. Knowing this company, there could be. It would be a lot cheaper than the E.H. Taylor. I don't know if it's any good. I don't know if this is any good. I've never bought it. I could tell you what the price is. It's $19.99, significantly cheaper. Now they got it confused. They're produced in very limited amounts. Store locations for this item will be randomly selected. In-store purchase only. Oh Lord, hold on. It was my daughter calling me. She said, if you're doing a live, you don't have to answer the government. Answer the government. I'm looking at the comment. Answer the call. I said, well, you never know if it's an emergency. Right. It's done to distract from real problems. Like bourbon is not a real problem. Unemployment is a real problem. No, craft beer tastic. All 100 proof bourbon does not have to be bottled in bond. That's an option. It's a good option, but it doesn't have to be done. All right, so we're back to this. Sorry for the interruption. Yeah, $19.99. That's a great deal. Now, but like I said, I think they're confused between Old Taylor and E.H. Taylor because they're saying it's allocated. And no, I'm pretty sure Old Taylor is definitely not allocated, not in this big plastic bottle. So it shows you what the government can do, not do. In other words, they can get very confused very quickly. Let's see, Old Taylor. They've got it in Texas at Specs, a very famous liquor store in Texas. $20.31 per handle, a little bit higher than Virginia. Old Taylor offers sweet apple nose with hints of caramel and sweet char. The palate offers a balance of maple, oak, and cinnamon. The finish has a touch of zest and smoke that's accentuated by a Maduro wrapper sweetness. Well, that's pretty complex. Where did they get all this information? Obviously from the distiller. If I saw it, would I buy it? Yeah, I would buy it. I definitely would buy it because I'd like to try it, see if it stacks up against E.H. Taylor, which clearly it wouldn't. But the question is, do they have an 86 proof, a 90 proof, and a 100 proof Old Taylor? And I'm thinking you just might see that. And the price would be significantly lower. But they're not going to promote it. In fact, if you look at the Buffalo Trace website, they don't even acknowledge Old Taylor, even though it's one of their oldest brands since 1887. They don't acknowledge it. Well, why would they? Why do they want you paying $20 for a handle when you can pay, $70 for a 750, right? But obviously, the E.H. Taylor is the clear and present winner. But to be fair, Ronnie S., good evening to you, Ronnie. But to be fair, the Winn-Dixie bourbon from the same company is nothing great, but it's nothing terrible. It's just like normal. It's like regular old normal bourbon. Winn-Dixie wins if you're worried about price. Obviously, if you're worried about price, which a lot of people have to worry about that, or they should be worrying about that, it's the clear and present winner. Now, if you're worried about taste, quality, appreciation, sippableness, character, gourmet attributes, you would get the Taylor. But it's going to cost you a lot of money. And that's just the way it goes. I can't really make that decision. Yes, I have a cold. I can't make that decision for you, but it's just a balancing act. Whatever you want to do, is the trade-off worth it? For Winn-Dixie, I don't know if the trade-off's worth it. I mean, because you're giving up a lot. But it's all about if you can afford it. Now, if you can afford it, if $80 or $50, maybe you can find it for $50. Maybe. Search around. You never know what you'll see. Buy it. Yeah, get it. If you can afford it. If you can't afford it, well, Winn-Dixie is dying a terrible death here in Florida. Well, according to their website, they're on the upswing. They're making it's going to be a new age for Winn-Dixie. Renovated stores, a whole new age. I drove by the Winn-Dixie store right there, half a mile away. I'm pointing at it. I can actually see the lights at night. The parking lot was full of a lot of cars. There was a lot of cars in the parking lot, so maybe they changed their mind. Maybe because I think there was some talk in Louisiana. There was some talk that they're not going to shut down 3 or 4 New Orleans stores, and maybe they're going to keep this one the 5th, but I doubt it. Does that Taylor bottle have a real cork? Yeah, real cork. Oh yeah, real cork. And this one has a real plastic twist cap. Publix killed them. Yeah, Publix is very nice. You go in those stores, they're so clean and neat. Now, Winn-Dixie does a good job keeping their stores up, I have to admit. But in Louisiana, they got bought out by Rouse's. I mean, Rouse's, their stores are kind of a little bit grungy, like a little bit kind of just not that well maintained. I don't know. I'm not really impressed with their store, but they got a lot of beer. They got a lot of beer offerings, so you can buy a lot of liquor, wine, and beer there, and groceries too, for good prices. But their store is not too attractive to me, unless you like something to look like a ramshackle. But I guess they making money. But I mean, this Winn-Dixie here, they were barbecuing every weekend. They had barbecue, and they would have a big barbecue pit out in front of the store, grilling, and they would broil crawfish. So, I mean, they had a kind of a culture here. I mean, they've been here since 1958. The Winn-Dixie store here opened in 1958. That's serious. That's been a long time. And they always had the best meat. Their tagline was the beef people. And I tell you, their meat, I buy their meat on discount, and it's, when you put on the grill, it comes out better than perfect, really. Winn-Dixie reminds me of the old Pathmarks in New York. Pathmarks. I've heard the name. I'm not familiar with it. Is it still in business? I don't know. I wonder if there are any bartender songs. Bartender. I'm sure there are. All right, well, that's it. I'm out of here. Obviously, E.H. Taylor is a clear and present winner, and it's going to keep winning. If you want to skip a lot of videos, skip these, because E.H. Taylor is going to win easily every time. So you could save yourself a lot of time watching videos in this series, because there's no hope for the other bourbons. But still, Winn-Dixie's not terrible. I got to give it credit. All right, y'all take care now. Bye-bye. Cheers, everybody.